You guys ever watch a random YouTube video and find a barely cohesive comment you left on it like 9 years ago? I'm only asking as a formality, I know this has happened to everyone. I showed one of mine briefly in the Mother album video, where I left the most heinous fanboy comment on the Earthbound Beginnings trailer. But after that, I got this huge obsession with finding more of my old comments to see if they were of equal or greater cringe. Not because I want to delete them, no, those things are immortalized forever. But it's like opening a time capsule full of grammatical errors, bad word choice, and genuine insanity. And thankfully, digging these up is really easy. Now listen closely, this is some like deep state classified shit. YouTube ain't gonna be too happy with me sharing this. I'm essentially like the Edward Snowden of YouTube. If you, the viewer, want to see your old YouTube comments in the year 2024, here's what you do. Select your YouTube icon and click Your Data on YouTube. Find your YouTube dashboard. Press the drop-down arrow. Click Comments and I'm in. Special thanks to whatever tech YouTuber I stole this from. But now that we're caught up to speed, there are a lot of consistencies with these comments I wanted to share. Back when I started this channel in 2014, I mainly used it to subscribe to my favorite YouTubers. And because of my age and sharing similar interests, I definitely got a little over-fixated with these guys, and it was shown through my overly vocal comments. It wasn't parasocial, but there was a mild obsession at the very least. The three biggest contenders for me were Linkin Park, Peanut Butter Gamer, and JONTRON. Let's start from the top. Ever since I was like 9 or 10, one of my favorite bands has always been Linkin Park. And I mean that with no sarcasm or irony. I think these guys are insanely talented. Some fans may not enjoy where they went sonically after the mid-2000s, but you gotta admit at the very least they're bold. And as a result, I left quite the number of comments on their videos. It wasn't an insane amount, but they'd always either intentionally start fights or unintentionally start fights. Like right here, me calling this guy an idiot for saying they're emo. Which, I mean, he's still wrong, I just didn't need to escalate it like that. And this was the unintentional one. Someone asked what the meaning behind Castle of Glass was, and I responded with what happens in the music video. And then this random guy comes in and is like, actually you're wrong, here's the real meaning. This one wasn't even a fight, it was just some guy too up their own ass about the interpretation. I also commented on their Somewhere I Belong video saying new Linkin Park was better than their old stuff. Yeah, for some reason I had a phase of being a massive contrarian and saying 1,000 Suns and Living Things were better than Hybrid Theory and Meteora. Which again, if you know anything about the band, that is a very contentious opinion to have. Thankfully no one responded, so I was spared from a horrible ass blasting, but just the nerve of 13-year-old me to say something like that. These albums are equally great for different reasons, but also like, come on, it's Hybrid Theory and Meteora. Those were the most noteworthy instances. I mean, I commented on way more of their videos, but the only interactions they had were nowhere near as funny. Regardless, Linkin Park is still one of my favorite bands to this day. I'm a little annoyed they completely ignored Hunting Party on the Greatest Hits album, but, you know, whatever. Here's hoping we see something new from them in the future. Peanut Butter Gamer was my foray into the Nintendo YouTubers that made lax game reviews with a larger emphasis on comedy and skits side of YouTube. Nintubers, as I think they've been dubbed. A lot of these guys have taken a turn for the worst in recent years due to controversies and scandals, but back in the early to mid-2010s, they were hailed as gods. My favorite being PBG himself. The funny thing was, this fanboyism wasn't for his main channel, but his side project, Hardcore.
Oh my god, I forgot how awesome this intro is. Here we go. Ho, 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 ho.
To give a brief summary, this was a quasi-let's play, yeah, that's what we're gonna call it, where he and his friends try to beat a game, with the catch being, if you die, you're dead for good. Some examples were beating the Ender Dragon in Minecraft, the Wall of Flesh in Terraria, and whatever they did in Starbound. I don't know, that game's boring. This shit rocked my world as a teenager, as not only was it exciting to see what new game or challenge they do each season, but it also featured a lot of other popular creators as well. These included Space Hamster, Shane from Digino Gaming, Smooth McGroove, Pro Jared, and The Completionist, who, putting aside all the crap he's gotten into, had the funniest death in the entire series. Literally 5 minutes into Minecraft Season 1, he quits playing and they kill him off in the most abrupt way possible. Yeah, death by AFK, that was so stupid. I'm not gonna get into it because I made a video almost 6 years ago that talks about its history and junk. And also I might possibly maybe want to do a new retrospective in the future, but, you know, we'll see how that goes. And looking through my old comments, I had an oddly strong emotional connection to this series. Not that I was outwardly dramatic about a player's death or theorizing what would happen in the next episode, but I was being oddly coy. For example, I'd ask the most arbitrary questions or point out dumb shit, but I also thought I could show up in a video when they were doing the Mine Z seasons. So basically for that game, they'd be playing on public servers instead of private ones with just themselves. Anyways, I thought if I followed where they were going throughout the season, I could catch up to them. This was without realizing they filmed these things like months in advance, and I was just being an idiot. Like, look at this comment. I actually got here yesterday, and I was all like, ah man, this is gonna be awesome. But then I realized that the next part would come out on the next day. So I waited until this part came out, and I got 2 enchanted iron swords with Smite 1. Smiley face. I feel like I knew I had a mild obsession at that age, but didn't want to admit it because I thought people would make fun of me. So I hid it through stuff like sarcasm or just saying the most random things to get attention. And surprisingly, it worked as PBG or whoever ran the channel responded to one of my comments. This was on Mine Z Season 1 Episode 13, where someone announced Dean died in the intro.
Dean died.
I left a comment acting excited because it was considered cool to rag on Dean back then, and ended it by saying, "Then I heard Jared say it, I laughed." And for some reason that started a fight in the comments over who said it, only for PBG to respond and confirm it was Space Hamster. And then that started another fight about people making fun of Dean, so I guess you could say I got what I wanted. But after a while, I stopped feeling as attached as the show got boring around 2016, which I'll go more into in that other retrospective I might possibly consider pondering on doing. But yeah, some of these comments were a little eye-opening, to say the least.
Room for one more?
And finally, we have JONTRON, who was in a lot of the same circles as PBG. And also similar to PBG, these comments weren't directed at their main videos, but their side projects, that being Game Grumps for John.
Hey, can I show you something, John? Is it your cock? Absolutely. Sure.
I was around 11 when Game Grumps started, and these guys were my entire world back then. Every day I'd come home from middle school and watch whatever new episodes came out, doubly so if it was Sonic 06. So to say I was a fan would be an understatement. However, my commenting wouldn't start until after John left the show in 2013, which, how is that already 11 years ago? Oh my god. And for the next few years, I'd leave comments on random Game Grumps episodes like, "Oh, where's John?" or "Can't wait for John to come back." Now, it's worth noting this was the cool and edgy thing to do, since there was so much drama and speculation about why he left the show. But still, it just got petty and obnoxious, because I kept doing this till like 2019, which was post-Destiny controversy, so of course they wouldn't have John back on the show. I even did this for hardcore. After a while, John stopped being a regular guest, and I got fed up with that too. I don't know why I had such a fixation on John, but I'm glad it's long gone. I feel this was also from me getting older and having my tastes and general personality change. You can literally see that in my comments, like I was endearingly stupid from 2014 to 2015, an unfunny memer from 2016 to 2018, and finally a snarky asshole from 2019 onwards. It's like I finally learned to not be so emotionally attached to videos, at least outwardly. You can be in love with a YouTube video. I would marry Fire Alarm Becomes Third Jazz Band member if I could. But still, there's a healthy limit, and I was harboring a lot. I also started commenting on less videos in general. In fact, most of mine nowadays are replies to the ones you guys leave. 'cause I love ya. Something I will admit though, when it comes to commenting, I'll get this selfish feeling and think to myself, oh, they don't need my comments or my likes, they already have plenty. And that can be an argument for huge channels like Mr. Beast, but for a lot of other creators, that stuff means the world to them. This made me think of a video by one of my favorite YouTubers ever, Star_, or Stern nowadays. For those who don't know, Star_ was one of the original TF tubers well before that was ever a term. He was especially known for his videos with Germa, which I swear to God is some of the best TF2 content ever. Ask Nicely for crits, Sound It Makes, Boost Bonk Bam, Germa's Mad, that's a classic. But he made this one video called Just Talkin', where he opens up about some of the challenges he was facing as a content creator. And early on, there's a segment where he talks about this exact thing.
YouTube comment section isn't real feedback, and most of like the sensible people that really appreciate what you're doing don't even comment on videos, so you never even know. And that's not just for me. Like, if you appreciate anybody who like does stuff on the internet, I guarantee you they don't get enough people telling them that they actually like matter. It just doesn't happen.
This always stuck out to me, because with YouTube it's always like, oh, get the number up with any means necessary. Lie, cheat, steal, anything. But Star's on the opposite side of the spectrum, where he doesn't see this positive reaction as just a number, but as inspiration to keep making videos. And it's not in a way where Star's asking people to comment or like more, no, he's acknowledging the people who do it and telling them how much it means to him. It's a shout out, not a call to action. I bring this up because it's something I want to do more of. Now, obviously I'm not going to like and comment on every YouTube video that comes my way, but a little positive feedback every once in a while doesn't hurt, you know? At the same time, it shouldn't be expected. I made a video a while ago called Don't Beg for Subscribers that called out lame ways I've seen creators essentially guilt their audience into subscribing or commenting. And full disclosure, this is coming from someone who still does YouTube as a hobby, so I might be pretty ignorant about this. But it just comes off as condescending and also desperate, which is the best combination you could ask for. I feel the audience should make that decision for themselves. You can acknowledge how much engagement means to you like Star did, just don't be a jerk about it. That's the best advice I can give. I wasn't expecting to go into the ethics of YouTube comments with this video, but I just kept finding a bunch of my old comments on videos and thought I need to do something with this. You know, aside from the typical pointing out when I use the wrong form of your or just questioning my sanity. Like I said this on an old Some Call Me Johnny video, like why did I say this? What reason did I have to say this? I hope y'all enjoyed this trip down memory lane. If you'd like to re-experience your own cringy comments, remember to use the tutorial I mentioned earlier. It's a great way to spend an afternoon. Alright, I gotta head to physical therapy. My thumb's doing pretty good. I got the hard cast off last week, and after a couple more sessions, I can finally play video games. But yeah, I'll catch you guys later. Hello? This is Sergeant Bronco of YouTube PD. You're under arrest for sharing classified information. We have your building surrounded. Come out with your hands up.